you guys learned about this in 5th grade, but feedback from the other class was that you don't really remember it all that much because it was harder during COVID, and you probably would have done it towards the end of the year. But what we're going to start today is our geometry unit. What is geometry? Owen? Shapes. So different shapes. So we're going to start today with looking at circles. So our two standards that we're going to cover are 6.7a and b, to derive pi, which we'll talk about what that means. That's something that's completely new. You guys haven't done pi at all yet. And to solve problems, including practical problems involving circumference and area of a circle. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to find pi, or use pi to find the circumference of a circle. So is circumference a word that you have heard before? Not necessarily at school, but have you heard anybody ever talk about the circumference of something? Owen?
Yeah, but I don't know what it means.
You don't remember? Okay. So we're going to take some vocabulary notes first. So go ahead and get out a piece of paper that you can take notes on, or your math journals. This will be important for us to keep, and we're going to build on this vocabulary. I'm going to go ahead and start writing. So I want you guys to think about, we're starting with circumference. You're going to write, you can write circles. Alright, can you guys say the word circumference?
Circumference.
Circumference. Malik?
You have a pencil?
Yes. Alright, so the circumference is the perimeter or the distance around the circle. So it is the part around the circle. So I'm going to write this definition. Perimeter slash distance.
Do I have the circumference or
Huh?
do I have the
You can write it to the side. I'm just not going to go all the way down. Around the outside. Of a circle. Do you guys remember from past geometry, what is it called when there's space inside of a shape? The area. The circumference is outside of a circle. So everything outside. I'm going to draw a little picture to show you what I'm talking about. So if we have a circle, the circumference is everything just to the outside of the circle. Alright, y'all keep writing, I'm going to keep going too, but the next one is chord. Have you guys heard chord before? Okay. So a chord is a line that connects 2 points of a circle's circumference, and I'll show you what that means. 2 points on a circle's circumference. So we have a circle. The chord is any part where it goes from one side to the other. It doesn't have to be in the middle. It's just anywhere in a circle from one side to the other. So this is an example of a chord. So it's basically just any point in the circle where it touches one side to the other. Alright, the next one is diameter. And the diameter is a straight line that runs from one side to another. So it sounds similar to this, but one important part that it has to have is that it has to go through the center. A chord does not have to go through the center, but the diameter does. So if we had a circle, the diameter would go through through that middle point, kind of like a Pokeball. So the diameter has to go through that whole middle point. It goes from one side to the other. It has to touch both sides and go through the middle. So it could be going this way. It could be going this way, as long as it goes through the middle. And then the last definition is radius. And that is the distance from the center to any point. And I'm going to put a little parentheses, it's half of the diameter. So for example, if we have our circle, it touches the center and it touches the side. It does not go all the way through. And if you put two of those together, it would make the diameter. So the main three that we're going to talk about today, it's important to know what a chord is, but the main three are going to be circumference, diameter, and radius. Those are our main three that are going to help us to determine different parts of the circle. Keep writing, but I did pass out to you. You should have those two sheets, the circles and the other one, the recording one. Scissors, string, and a ruler. If you don't have it, one of those, let me know so I can make sure you get it. I think everybody's got them.
Yeah, I got one.
Good. So, like our standard said, we are going to figure out how to use these three to help find each other. That makes sense. So, you can use those to find this. You can use this to find that, and we're going to figure out how that relationship works by looking at these circles. So once you guys all have that written down, we'll move on to the activity part. Good job, Jalen. That's exactly what we're about to do. For our next part, we need to make sure we're listening carefully to follow instructions. So I want you to listen before you start to touch anything and watch my example, and then I'll have you guys do it, just to make sure we're all doing the right thing. You finished writing, Maya? You finished writing that? And make sure you draw the little circle examples, because that'll help you. Next week sometime we'll do a little like vocabulary quiz. So you're going to want to make sure you have these different, and it could be on your SOL. They could show you a line like this and ask you what it is. So the diameter is a chord, but not all chords are diameters, because what does the diameter need to have? What does it need to go through? The middle, sorry. And a radius is not a chord because it doesn't touch both sides of the circle. But you could have tons and tons of chords in a circle. They could go any which way as long as it's touching from one side to the other in a straight line. Alright, so we're going to move on to activity. So I want you guys to listen to the instructions for this first one first. I want to make sure your eyes are on me and you're not touching anything, so I know that you're really listening, because there's a lot of steps to this part. Okay. So all of our data that we get, we're going to record on this circling measures. This is our first column, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay? So what you're going to do for the first step is we are going to use the yarn. I'm going to have you guys not cut them out yet. You're going to leave them like this because it's easier to measure around them. You're going to, don't start it yet, just listen. You're going to take your yarn, Have it laying flat is easier. And you're gonna start at one point, take your yarn, go all the way on the black part, get all the way across, and then cut it so that you have the string is the length of the outside of the circle. What would that be called? The circumference. So we're measuring the circumference using string. So you're gonna lay the string down and then cut it and then put that piece aside. Lay the string down, cut it, put that piece aside. Do it for all four. Once you've cut all four, you're going to take your ruler and measure each of the circles. So you're going to take your ruler, measure out circle number 1's length, circle number 2's length, and you're going to put them down. I'm going to put on here how to measure with the little ticks because between 1 inch and 2 inches, there are 16 little marks. So some of these you will have a decimal on. If it doesn't line up perfectly, don't round. I want you guys to put the exact amount, okay? So I'm gonna draw like a little cheat. I'll probably draw that backwards so you can really see it. But each tick is 1/16 of an inch. But I'm gonna write the decimal so that you're able to see it. But go ahead and start by just doing your string and cutting each one. And if you have a question, raise your hand. But you're just going to kind of lay it along the black part and then make sure you separate them. Yes, Ellen? Yep, like that. And so then just cut it so it's just the length of that circle. And on this board on the back, I'm going to draw a little ruler to help us. So I'm drawing this like super blown up. So yours won't be, yours is not as big. You're going to want to start, and make sure everyone, y'all are doing this, start with the tip instead of trying to start at the middle, because you won't use as much string. So you're going to start there, and you're just going to kind of lay it. So where they touch, go ahead and cut it. Alright, so that's your circle 1. So now just do that for all the rest of them.
I thought I do that for all of them.
Yeah.
All four.
Oh, I didn't do yes. So make sure you try to keep it as close on the black line as you can so it doesn't mess up. Did I leave out your scissors? Yes. So you cut and then let him borrow those ones too. Amaya, did I not give you scissors either? You have some.
I got one piece down.
Good job. So you're just gonna get all 4 and then we're gonna measure them.
It's not working again. I hate this. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's mine.
just try to make sure it doesn't overlap too much, so. And then make sure that your tips are not, like your little points are not overlapping too much, because that's gonna add extra length, which will kind of throw off your measurements. Make sure you're doing it right on, and make sure you're keeping track of which one was circle 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which you can kind of tell, well, so they go out in a weird order. Circle 1 is the biggest, then circle 3, then 2, then 4. You can cut like right there. Right where it touches the other one, yeah.
There's line 1,
There you go.
that's 1. This is 3. Line 3 goes right there. So this one.
No, that's fine. Perfect. Now keep going, get all your circles.
That's one thing.
You got all of them? Just get your 4th one. Finley, did you get all your circles done? Good job. So let's see.
This one overlaps.
You might want to put this one down a little bit, because you want them to be like as close to the black line as you can.
Yep, that's fine too.
So you got some extra length. So let's cut. Right there. Let's cut right there.
Wait.
Right there. Alright, y'all got them all cut? Okay, what you're gonna do now is, starting with circle 1, I'm gonna borrow your ruler. You are going to take your ruler. This is not actually circle 1, so don't write this number down. But you wanna make sure that you have it flat on the table. You remember you start at 0, not the edge of your ruler. Lay it out and see where it lands. So, pay attention really quick, because this is when people got thrown off. Mine lands between 5 and 6. So I need to count the tick marks. Because it's landing between 5 and 6, the first number is going to be a 5. Because it's at least 5 inches long. Then I need to count the ticks between 5 and 6, and I can see that mine is about 12, about 13/16. So, now, because it's on the 13th tick mark out of 16 tick marks, I need to use my calculator, and you guys can use your phone calculators or you can use your Desmos. Use your calculator, that I lost, and divide 13 divided by 16, and I get 0.8125. So that means this one is 5.8125. If all you want to do is write your fraction down, and then I can come around and help you figure out your decimal, that works too. But make sure, because the other class we left this number out. Whatever inch it's between is your whole number. Your decimal, it just depends on the ticks that it's in between. So go ahead, don't round them. Go ahead and start measuring.
Okay, I came to circle 2.
Okay, I'll come help you.
String,
I'll come help you.
820. Circle 2.
Okay, and like Kamora sees, circle 1 is going to be longer than 12 inches. So you just take it, make sure we got inches. You're going to take it, and at the 12, you're going to grab it and pull it down to your back at 0, and you're going to add. So technically now we're at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 on the back. So your first one is 17 inches. So you could just write 17 and then like two little ticks up top.
Okay,
So you're on not inches, this is inches. Make sure we're on inches. Make sure you guys are doing inches, which is your bigger side of your ruler. We're gonna go down to 12. Grab it. Start back at 0.
Miss one.
Hold on 1 second. And so you have 12. Oh,
17.
there's yeah, perfect. 17 as well.
So I put 17 and
17 and those two little tallies means inches. Yes, I'll be right there, Ellen. So you're gonna take this first one and put your ruler flat down with your inches side up. So these are your inches. And start at 0. Go down to 12. And stop it. Bring it back up. And then you're gonna add 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Huh?
17. Because you did 12 and then 5 more.
I got 17.41.
So it is 17. It's 12 plus 5. So for this first one, you're gonna put 17.
I got 17.41.
41. Okay, so let's look at it. Is this your first one?
Should I do the next one too?
Yeah.
I know that's
Start at
17.
12. And go to 12. So you're a little bit over, you're about halfway. So it would be 17.5, 17 and a half, and you're gonna write it right here.
Oh.
Yep, 17.5. Good job. Now go do that for all of them.
820 for this one.
I'm so
Where's your second sister? Where's second circle? Which one's your second circle?
I'm so
Okay. So this is at
Alright, this one's.
at least 7, so put 7 as your big number. You put 7 as your big number right there. I'll show you right there. Now, I'm gonna have to turn the lights on because y'all can't really see the ticks. I can't see the ticks, so I'm sure y'all can see them. Hold on, let me turn back.
Lights.
I know, we'll turn back on. Alright. Yeah, I'll be right there.
Oh God, no.
So now we're looking, it ends like right here, so you count the ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're gonna do 6 divided by 16. And that's the decimal you put after. So you're gonna put 0.375. 7.37.
I found
Do I have
circle.
the 0?
No,
I found circle 2.
okay?
I didn't even.
Okay. First of all, your ruler's upside down. So start at 0. And go down to 12. And then drop it down here. divide 3 divided by 16, and whatever decimal that's coming next. So, can you get out your calculator? Here, you must read. So we said 3. Mm-hmm. So 0.1875. So this is 5.1875.
Hold on. Shouldn't it? So
5.1875.
So,
Now you do it. Don't put anything here. You're gonna do number 2. Do circle 2. Okay, Bailey, you're up.
and divided by 16.
I'm coming, Owen. I'm coming. There's only one of me. Alright, so we start at 0. Go down to 12. And then pull it up. So we're already at 12. Plus 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 is going to go first. And then a point, because a little bit more. And you count 1, 2, 3, about 3. So do 3 over 16. It's always 16 because there are 16 ticks between 1 inch and 2 inch, between any inch. So that's why you divide that number. No, do 3 divided by 16.
Well, how do I?
Let me get to Owen and I'll come help you. Do exactly like we just did. So then 0.1875, just like that. Then do your next circle. Yes.
Even though we're supposed to do the exact percentage, wouldn't this be point?
Yes, 4.5. Yeah. That is the exact one. So you're going to put that right here for circle 4.
5?
That looks like 4 on the dot. Yeah. That's circle 4. You did them all? Okay.
I did them all too.
Okay. This is the hardest part, is measuring them.
That's enough to know.
Okay. That looks about right. Good job, Jen. Alright. Yeah. Which one is circle 3? Oh, right here.
This is circle 4. I skipped circle.
Okay. So you know it's at least 4 inches long, so put 4 as your first number. Not on your calculator, just right here. You're only figuring out the decimal. Because we're trying to see, it's between 4 and 5, so we need to know the decimal.
Just get lucky.
So it looks like it is
How do I even?
Is that number 2? It's gonna be 8. Exactly.
Circle 2 is hard. I don't like this.
13. So you'll do 13 divided by 16. And you'll put that 0.8 right there.
So I'll put down 11 and 16.
Oh, so 4.815. I'm coming to mine. Okay. So we're measuring them now. So this is circle 1. So you're starting on inches 0. Circle 3. And you go down
That's
to
not
12.
possible.
And it hits right at 5. What's 12 plus 5? So 17 inches for the first one. 17 plus 5. And you just do that for all. 17 even, sorry, 17 inches. Now do that for all of them. Yeah, that's fine. So now do circle 2, circle 3, circle 4. You measure them and you just write what they are. That was circle 1, so which one is that one? That looks like circle 4. So you're gonna measure it. And it looks like you're right at 3.5. So 3.5.
8 at 16.
We won't do that yet. We're gonna do it all together.
This is more than a foot.
Okay. So it is 7, but not 0.5. This would be 0.5. But we're going 8, 9, 10, 11. You need to divide 11 divided by 16. So it's, is this number 2 or 3? 0.5. So you're gonna say 7 point, and then on your calculator divide 11 divided by 16. and that's the decimal that follows.
What happens if it's more than a foot?
Then you take it at the 12 and bring it back to 0 and just keep adding 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, I'm struggling about to.
It is exactly 12 o'clock.
Yes, it's 12 o'clock. 12 and a half.
12.
Mm-hmm. Says it's 12 and a half an inch. So which circle is that? Circle 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so 12.5.
Wait, what's the one? I can't do this.
Yours is also 12.
Is this? I'm getting lucky. Second one is
12.5,
A,
yes.
this is 4.5, this cannot be 12.
It will only
It's
last 1 minute.
Good job.
I'm gonna check.
Yes.
This is
It's 12 and a half.
what is one?
It's more when you have to stop filming.
Huh?
You have to stop
Officially
filming.
have 8 hours until SmackDown.
Alright, is your last one?
Oh, perfect.
Alright, so you're exactly
So
correct.
it's gonna be happening at 12 p.m.
Okay.
8 p.m.
Alright, so you're done. You're almost done.
And the last little 10.
7.5.
Someone watched.
Oh, and you got yours done? You still working?
I'm just so lucky.
You what?
Oh, it's an 8.
Oh, you don't have to cut it. Look, you can just do this.
Oh, I know right over here. They fell out.
Grab 12, bring it back down,
Backpack.
and then do 13, 14, 15, 16,
Mhm.
17.
Not her fault. Oh, give me one.
17 and a half.
17.5. Yes.
We got 4 numbers
Nothing
and
yet.
half.
Alright, you guys got them all? Does everybody have them all written?
Yep.
And I can probably how my numbers turned out.
So that's
So I'll have to do math.
Women's
That's 13.
all over there.
Alright,
I didn't even know they were this morning.
I'm gonna tell you how to do the next part.
Oh, the link.
Alright, for the next part, you are going to cut out your circles. Now, whether you cut them out on the outside of the black or the inside of the black is up to you, but you need to be consistent. So if you're cutting on the outside, cut all the way on the outside. If you're cutting the inside, cut all the way on the inside. But go ahead, actually, I would suggest you cut on the outside of the black so that you still see black. Don't leave any white on the outside of the black. But go ahead and, I don't know that I have any more, oh, here you go, Malik. Yes.
I'm doors.
Does anybody have an extra pair of scissors?
No.
Okay,
I got
I'll
these
grab
right
some.
here. and they're
I'll grab some
purple.
from Miss Young.
What is mine?
Oh,
So just cut out, leave the black. Oh, you got some? Okay. You're gonna cut them out, leave some black, but don't leave any white. You're done with the strings. Yeah, you don't need them. And we're gonna start measuring the inside of our circle. But we need them to be cut out. So you can measure the outside. And what did we say measuring the outside was? The what?
Circumference.
Circumference. Everybody say circumference?
Circumference.
Circumference. That is everything, that's the outside of the circle.
I'm terrible. Miss Moore, I messed it up. I messed it up. That's okay. My circle's open.
It's okay if
hard
it's a
to
little.
not cut any black and then not leave any white.
Yeah, because you left a little white on it. That's fine. I'm gonna come around and grab your string from you.
Yeah.
This is
That's
hard.
fine, that looks good. Just do your best. It's okay if it's a little out on some of the sides. Just try your best to keep it right on the black.
I'm trying my best.
Don't cut the black.
I keep on saying
Oh.
little teeny.
This is gonna take me forever.
And if you want to cut the circle completely out and then
Go
start
too
cutting
fast.
around, that works too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the outline and
Oh
just.
my God.
Yeah, that's fine. To me, it's easier to cut the
That's the best
circle
I can
all the
do.
way out and then get close to the details
This is the
like
best
that.
I can do. Is this
That's
okay?
You can just keep cutting around it.
What if I leave a bunch of white on it?
It might throw off your measurement.
Miss Moore,
Mm-hmm.
can I do something? So my mom has, my cat has kittens.
Oh, good
And
God.
she trampled one to death.
I'm gonna cut one circle.
And she also tried to kill the other one by biting it.
Oh.
But we have it and we're going to use
Is it indoor cat or outdoor?
indoor cat.
That
But
cat's
she
the
ran
cannibal.
off. She escaped and ran off and was gone for like 3 weeks and then came back pregnant.
Poor little kitten.
That was an
At least you can
adventure.
say the other one.
We're naming it Stitch, but I'm gonna call it Snitch because it tells on us every time we pick it up.
Was it got a mask?
Yes, it hollers.
I like doing the inside because every time I try to do it
Hold
on
on,
the
Ruby.
inside.
Oh, that's okay.
Are we doing good?
You're done, Lauren?
Almost.
I'll tell you what to do when you're done.
Am I doing good with my circles?
Yep.
You still need the
That's
rulers
where I have the
now?
white stuff right there.
Yes.
I'm just gonna cut it in half.
Yeah, you could do that, right?
Oh, when you're done with yours?
Yeah,
No,
trying
I
to
should
make a
cut the circle in
rainbow.
half.
Okay, well, that's
I
not
made a
bad.
rainbow.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
Alright, you can cut out the white stuff right there.
We like
Yeah, that's fun too.
circle.
Just like in the blue shot.
Lucky.
I
I like shots.
don't like shots.
They're weird.
I have no idea over what.
My
Well,
rainbow
I'm
looks like a
gonna
triangle.
say those rainbows.
Meow.
There's a bakery shop?
He's nice.
Yeah, there used to be.
What happened to it? Imagine having
She
6
went
years
to-
ago.
Very.
Now my mom gives me a Sunday from
You said you're gonna have a really nice day.
Huh?
You said you're gonna have a really nice day.
I hope.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a good day.
Nah, it's not. It's not.
It's Friday.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday.
And it's my birthday.
And it's someone's birthday.
Happy birthday, Lauren.
Oh yeah.
I think
Today's gonna be the best day
I feel like
ever.
you should call
because
happy
it's
birthday
always
because it's her
birthday.
birthday too.
Really?
Yeah, we share the same birthday.
I know, and you bought the
One's
school.
older than me.
Alright, is anybody else done cutting their circles?
Nope. Yes, me. I need help though.
I'll wait a couple minutes till everybody's all the way done. What do you need help with? Do this one again.
Bruh.
You didn't even tell.
So anyone that's not
How
done
do I do after
has to deal with it and just give it to you.
No, I'm gonna tell you what to do.
We're about to leave.
Cause I only did two,
You
3, 4.
still can cut it out.
I'm on my last one.
3 jobs
That's
are
not
Oh, good.
protocol.
I got more.
I made a rainbow.
Oh, now they're finally.
Blake, look,
What?
on the ground.
What?
Hey,
Oh, right back.
well, what is it?